All right. So once again, the mega church 7210. One of the things about a mega church is, yes, they are bigger. They have more horsepower available, more influence. So if you take this tractor here. It's got the most horsepower of any tractor that we own, that's on the ranch up here. So the most horsepower, I don't know, we may have one old John Deere back at the house that Mickey uses that had more, but it's so old and tired, it ain't got that much. So I wanted to real quick, like, I know I'm late, but I've been all day trying to get over here because I had to leave the 7210. I had to leave the mega church over here where we were dumping litter yesterday. You can see back yonder, there's a big pile of litter. There's 3 truckloads back there, if y'all can see that, just to the left of that tree. And then there's one pile right here. And you might ask yourself, well, why would you not put all your litter in the same pile? Because that right there. Look. That's a bog hole. So what happened was the first 2 trucks went through there. Third truck's coming through there. Bottom falls out on him. And his truck makes it up to here where his drive axles got stuck right here. But his trailer's back here buried, like pretty deep like. So we had to push all that litter off and ooch him forward. Well, we bring old mega church over here to pull him on out. Mega church couldn't do it. Now you would think, as big as it is and as much horsepower as it has, it could pull it out. But the mega church didn't have enough weight on the front end, and so what happened was it was trying to pull it starts bouncing, and you can't get. So we had to go get the skid steer. The skid steer's it's so small, only one person can fit it in. I mean, it's little. Me and Rue won't leave me alone. She has to ride with me. But so we went and got the skid steer, and I hooked the skid steer to the front of the mega church so that the skid steer could keep enough pulling on the front of the mega church so that it would stay on the ground and not go to bouncing around. Why is this important? And what does this have to do with our better understanding of church and church life? And because I wouldn't call Barnum a mega church. By far the biggest church I've ever been a part of. It's the only church I was really ever active in. But I've been visiting other churches. I was in Woodward last weekend. Visited Cuthand a few times. It's a cool church, full of cool people. Church down the road, cool, great little old church. 2 weeks from now, I guess on the 22nd of March, I'm gonna fill in for Chase over at Woodward. I mean where's that at? Winsboro at the arena. And last time I was over at Winsboro Arena, it was way cold. It was and there was like 8 or 10 of us freezing to death. But I had a great little church service. What's my point? Mega churches absolutely carry a bigger budget, a more influence in their community, a wider swath. It's crazy. This year we just had midterm elections, and only two people in our county really reached out to me to ask me for sure if I was voting for them. And hey, man, and I'm sure it don't have nothing to do with the fact that I've moved out of that county that I lived in all my life. Those two are personal friends, and they reached out, and we were encouraged and prayed with them. They wanted our prayers about their either re-election or the first time they ever ran for anything. And it was, we were friends, and I was their pastor to Ashley, and just she just wanted prayer. So it was cool. Really, she reached out to Christy because she wanted Christy's prayer and Christy to be encouraged and from heartfelt years spent mentoring her. So what am I getting to is one of the things that you lose in a mega church is the groundedness. Just like old megachurch 7210 couldn't stay grounded because it was too light on the front end. It had so much power and it was pulling so hard that it was actually coming up off of the ground. Well, you can't do nothing when you're bouncing up off the ground. You gotta maintain the groundedness. You gotta stay connected. That's why if you're part of a big church, it's important to be involved. It's vital to get engaged. That's why if you ever listen to Joe Mama preach, he's gonna mention plugging in and how that's gonna change your life. Why? Because he knows his life was changed when he got plugged in and he got connected and he stayed grounded. Because in them teams, you develop real relationships that carry on. And then years down the road, when you ain't in church together no more, they call you and ask for prayer. They call you and ask for counsel. They call you and ask for advice. They call you, and y'all follow me? So I want you to understand something. A miracle happened here yesterday. A truck, it's 7:30. I had just got undressed to get in the shower. Phone rings, can you come pull us out one more time? I done pulled these guys out 5 times yesterday. I've laughed and enjoyed the whole day, singing hallelujah and whistling Dixie the whole time. It was a great day. Them boys was 21, 24, 21, maybe 20. I mean, in fact, they asked me, what do you think whenever you see all those kids getting out of these trucks? I said, let me tell y'all something. It tickled this old fart because I was younger than y'all, and I was skinnier and smaller, and I had less facial hair than y'all when I started driving a truck. And so you boys just tickled the snot out of me. Young, don't even look like you're old enough to be out of high school, and you come in here rolling, Jake breaking, looking good, you hear me? And then bury them some guns. And I'm like, all right, let me old mega church pull you out. Late yesterday evening, we had to, mega church couldn't get it done. I walked and got the skid steer, brought it back, we got them out. And that one young kid said, now this is where the miracle happened. Not that we got stuck, that's expected. Not that water started coming out of the ground, or not that we figured out we got it done. This young guy who just met me yesterday morning, and all he knows of me is that he's bringing chicken litter to me in a truck. He's 21, I'm 55. I'm fat and old, he's young, and he's just a good young kid. I've whistled and hummed, sing a hallelujah. All I know of that song is sing a hallelujah. And then I'd be going, I don't know the song, but it was stuck in my head. And he said, when we got the truck out, we were all done. I was still whistling. They was back in the shower, and I'm going to eat dinner. I don't mind if you call me, but make sure you give me enough time to get that done. That kid said, you have a beautiful demeanor about you, even with all this going on. And I just died laughing. That is a miracle. No one ever has told me I had a beautiful demeanor. They've said you demeanor than this and demeanor than that, or you're dumber than this or dumber than that, but they ain't never said I had a beautiful demeanor. And I just started to walk off, and I said, well, I'll just tell you, if you've been where I've been and you've made the mistakes, which I hope you never make, you felt some of the things I felt, this is a wonderful day. I've had the most fun today, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Remember, if you get stuck again, let me get through eating and then call me. So, mega church had to have a little help with mini church. The mega church, not M-A-N-Y mini church, mini, M-I-N-I, mini, small church. Why? Because guys, listen, it ain't the size of the church is the problem. No, there's no such thing as a church too big and a church too small. That's just you nitpicking, finding a reason not to go. You need to be connected.